Hey guys, how you all doing? We're back again. If you didn't see us before, we were live with Samantha Tina, so go back and watch that. But hey Clara, hey Jess, hey Stu, how you all doing?
Doing
Very
good.
well.
Hi.
And guys, we got some news today. We got the running order for both of the semi-finals. Eurovision 2021 is coming. We've not got long to go. And we're gonna take you through the running order. So if I pull up the first semi-final, over to you, Jess. The order is.
So we have Lithuania opening, followed by Slovenia, Russia, Sweden, Austria, North Macedonia, Ireland, and Cyprus closing the first half. Then opening the second half is Norway, followed by Croatia, Belgium, Israel, Romania, Azerbaijan, Ukraine, and Malta closing the semi-final.
Wow, there we go. The first point is I love how you say Israel. Okay. But anything that kind of jumps out of you in that list, Jess? Any surprises?
For me, Malta closing was a surprise because I didn't see that happening. And it's kind of making me think that they could have something big planned for the staging, which could be why it's last. So I'm now kind of starting to get on the bandwagon of Malta could be winning it this year. And I guess the only other surprise is maybe Ireland, because I actually had them as my opener, and I thought they were the best song to open the show. But I'm kind of happy that they're not, because they're my favourite. So I'm happy that they're kind of lower down a little bit.
Yeah, so Ireland at midpoint. Stu, Jess raised a really valid point that always factors in these semi-final running orders, and people always forget that the staging of the preceding and the following country is always a big factor in how these songs are ordered.
Usually, I mean, because we were discussing this earlier today in our group chat, and somebody mentioned a very peculiar change in the final, which was Australia 2019, followed by Spain, which were two countries that had really big set pieces. So, I mean, I'd like to think that maybe, you know, provided that they're thinking it all the way through, that you know, has an impact. But I don't know. I mean, it's still kind of early. I'm sure that, like, obviously at this point they have to have all of the staging concepts put forward. So the production at least knows what's going to be happening on stage. But it's another thing when you actually are doing it. When they're rehearsing, they might realize, okay, you know, maybe you know, we might need a little bit of extra time in this part, and that they've done that in years prior. When there's been a really big setup, they'll have to put like an interview, or, you know, cut to the host to do something. But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, at this point they're doing their best to manage those things, as well as, you know, keep the energy flowing, show enough diversity between male and female artists, and solo performers and group performers. You know, all those factors go into how the running order is put together. And yeah, so like they're obviously doing what they can to sort out those problems now before they become a problem later.
And Clara, we've got the Roop opening Eurovision 2021.
I'm pretty happy about it, actually, because it's going to be bomb. They're going to start the show. Woo! Hi, I'm gonna put a blanket on because I'm cold. Sorry.
She's always cold.
I'm always cold. I'm a cold-hearted Spaniard. Anyway, I love that the Roop is opening, because this is what I want to see. It's going to be the first impression of a Eurovision after the cancellation of Eurovision 2020. So it's going to be the best Eurovision opening ever. Like, it's going to feel amazing. And the song is amazing, and the energy is great. So I think they're going to set the tone. Who are they followed by? Sorry, I think
Slovenia.
Slovenia.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit sorry for Slovenia in a way, because the song is great, but the energy is different. So we're going to start with the Roop, with the discotheque. We're going to want to dance, and then it's going to be a little bit of a mellow down, still powerful though. But I'm really happy that the Roop is opening, because they're definitely going to have the advantage of the fresh eyes, fresh ears. And the staging is wild in a way. Like, we've seen what the video clip looks like, what they've done on the Lithuanian national final. So I think they might have it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about semi-final 2 shortly, but obviously, spoiler alert, San Marino is opening semi-final 2, and it's almost like the producers have gone with 2 of the most bright and colourful entries. And they're probably trying to capture the moods that we will all be in, and we're looking forward to bright, colourful. We want cheery. We want, we're all looking forward to these bangers and feeling good that Eurovision's back. So I think they're very telling choices as the openers. And one thing the producers always have to think of as well is what's going to keep someone switched on, because this is as much about keeping the casual viewer involved in the semi-finals as it is the hardcore Eurovision fans that will watch it no matter what. And Seni and Flowrider being the openers of semi-final 2 is quite telling. But we have to talk about the death spot, spot number 2. Everyone's always watching with interest as to which songs are drawn into the number 2 slot. But it's not always a death slot, Jess, when it comes to semi-finals, is it?
Not necessarily. I mean, I don't know the exact figure offhand, but I know there's been quite a number of songs performed in second place that have made the final. But when it comes to the first semi-final in Slovenia, like with a song like Slovenia kind of being wedged in between Lithuania and Russia, that's when I start to get a bit worried, and I think, is she enough? Is her performance going to be enough to stand out amongst 2 big songs from this year's contest? And so it kind of makes me worried that she could kind of break that curse of second places making the final, maybe.
We actually asked Paolo earlier today to look into this, Paolo from Team Eurovoxx, and he says, so since 2004, the song in the second spot in the running order has qualified 11 out of 28 times. So it's less likely, it's probably, if we were to do statistics on all of the positions, it's probably the least likely. And when we're talking about the final, we haven't yet seen a winner in the second spot. But he also says that the highest placing was Israel in 2008 when it came 5th in the semifinal. In the current system, the highest placed was Poland in 2016, who came 6th in the semi. So it's not necessarily a kiss of death, but it is generally seen as the most difficult spot to get out of in order to be a qualifier for the final.
Yeah, and we're so up for that kind of cursed second spot in the final being broken. We have to go to the live chat and just say hello to everyone. So we've got Sarah O'Halloran, you're always first, and we love you for it. We've got Rachel Sanu, Israel revamp reaction. There may be one coming soon. It might be a surprise one for you. Maybe it won't be me. We've got Sam Ravenbach. Hey, Sam. We've got Francesco in Italy. We've got Carlos Allen. Hey, Carlos. We've got MDL. We've got Euroboy 4 Calispera. We've got James Lewis. We've got RJ. So cool that San Marino opening semi-final 2. And hello to you, RJ. I think you're in the Netherlands. We've got Rye Bailey. We've got Europe. Hello to the whole of Europe. Love that. We've got Rye Bailey. You're saying that you're worried for Ireland. So Ireland, I think, have been drawn in spot 7 in the semi-final, followed by Cyprus, which obviously is one of the fan favourites this year, and preceded by North Macedonia, Vassal with his kind of with his ballad. So, I mean, I would say Ireland kind of goes in between those two entries. It's not necessarily a bop, but it's not a ballad. It's quite a fast-paced song. What do you guys think of Ireland's chances with that 7th spot in the semi?
Go ahead.
I think. Oh, sorry. Please, Jess, go ahead. We are very polite here.
We're also polite.
Initially, I was worried for Ireland coming before Cyprus, because Cyprus is kind of one of the big favourites. But then I remembered back to 2018 when Ryan performed before Eleni in the semi-final and also in the final, and still qualified and still got a decent result. So then I kind of thought, actually, maybe there is hope after all. And coming after North Macedonia, which is kind of like a ballad and a more slowed down kind of song, this is really going to pick everyone up after that. So I feel quite hopeful for Leslie.
Yeah. Go ahead, Stu.
Well, I was just going to say that I think in terms of running order, I think she's actually in a good spot. I'm not too concerned about that. I think obviously, the fact that with the song that she has, being in the first half is probably the biggest challenge, but ultimately the fact that she is towards the end of the first half is probably the best position that she could be in.
Yeah, I agree. And I think her song sounds very different to what we would be hearing in that semifinal. So it's going to be an interesting run for her. I'm definitely very curious to see what happens.
We've also got Serdian. We have to say hello to Serdian. Carlos Allen, you're saying they obviously want Malta to win. We're going to talk about the second half of the semi shortly. Felix P, you're kind of scared for Russia. Interesting point. I don't think Russia needs to be worried about their running order position, because I think the song is such a standout song that it's going to be memorable. From what I can remember, they're performing in third.
Yes.
It is third. So I don't think that's going to harm Russia. And she's had a lot of, I'd say, good press. I mean, there's been kind of negative stories about the reaction to her performing for Russia, but it has been pressed. I know certainly here in the UK. So I think people will be looking out for her and her performance. So I don't think a third spot in this semi-final is going to hurt her at all.
I mean, I think her song and performance is strong enough to qualify wherever she's performing. So I'm not worried about Russia this year.
You made a song pun there. Her song is strong enough.
Unintentional pun.
You're so punny.
Thank you.
Serdian saying Slovenia in a very tough spot. You were hoping it was going to help her. Who knows? The supposed curse of qualifying from second spot might be broken. It has been before. We've got Jose Santos. Hey,
Jose!
Long time. You think having Lithuania is like first is like putting the standards really high at the first moment? Hugs to you in Portugal. RJ is saying number 7 is that a lucky number, Ireland?
It is for me.
Isn't it a lucky number everywhere? 7?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know. I always thought 8 was the lucky number. I just know that 13's unlucky, but anyway, I'm not too superstitious. We're going to talk about the second half of the semi now. So this is semi-final 1. So we've got Norway at the top of the second half, and then we've got Malta closing. Ukraine, I might be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure Ukraine were drawn in a similar spot last year.
Ukraine closed the show last year, I believe. I mean, the show that only kind of happened in a symbolic way, but they were last. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So, guys, anything jumping out at you in the running order of the second half of the show?
I think it's funny that Norway opens the second part and Cyprus closes the first part, and the song has a similar name, Diablo and Fallen Angel, So, yay, more puns.
Didn't spot that. That might just be, I mean, he might be performing after the ad break just so that he can get, I would imagine, something big with huge wings that are going to have to be wheeled onto the stage, and he might be hanging from the ceiling. I can only imagine why he might have been performed, why he might have been drawn after what we believe to be the ad break. But Norway followed by Croatia, followed by Belgium, and then Israel.
I saw a comment, someone said that what were the chances of Croatia, and I think Croatia might have chances in that, considering that order, because it's a pop dancey song, and I don't want to say we don't have a lot of those, but they're very spread out, so I think it might have good chances. Plus it's very different from Norway, so
Belgium has been a song that people are talking about in terms of having a good spot in this semi as well. They think it's going to make it stand out. They're obviously drawn after Croatia, before Israel, which has obviously recently had a revamp. Do you think that's a good draw for Belgium?
I think so, because it's a very different song compared to Croatia, and it's rather these kind of up-tempo, poppy, dancey tracks, and then we've got this maybe kind of soft rock pop from Belgium that is going to kind of like counteract the two countries beside it. So I think it could work in their favor.
Yeah, I can't place Belgium style very much. It's different. It's like, I think this is the one song. Well, I keep saying it's the one song that has like the only style, but it's very difficult to where to place a Belgium compared to other songs, because it's a song like parents would like, or musicians would like, because it's yeah, but like it's okay. It's not like, you know, like the kids will like it, the punks will like this one, the rockers would like Finland, and it kind of gathers a very new. I don't want to say neutral because then that sounds really bad, but you know what I mean. It's for like it's really.
It's different from the songs that are kind of like instant gratification, which, you know, there's a lot of that here, and, you know, a lot of that this year in Eurovision, I would say.
He's so well spoken.
You know, it's the kind of song that you need to absorb. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say whether or not they would benefit from being in a different spot, but I think at least between the two songs that come before and after it, I think that might be good enough to get them to the final.
Mm-hmm.
I think people might have been sleeping on Belgium a little bit in terms of qualification chances, because I think it will be a standout song. And Clara, what you're saying about the audience for the song maybe being kind of the older generation, people forget it's not just young fans that watch Eurovision every year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Melfest, for instance, they showcase the range of their votes by age group. People of all ages will be voting for this, and I think it will be a jury pleaser. I think it will stand out. It's a classy song. The vocals in the studio version are good. I've not seen it performed live, but we can only hope that the vocals will be as good. And Belgium has always been a little bit of a surprise over the past few years, since probably 2015, I would say, with Loic.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, they always send good quality songs. They tend to sometimes suffer from staging choices, so hopefully they can get it right this year.
And we have to talk about the closer. So Malta. Jess, you were saying you were a little bit surprised about Malta closing the show.
Yeah, I for some reason I just never saw this song as being a closer. I don't know why. I thought it would be maybe even opening the second half, somewhere in the middle. So I'm kind of suspicious a bit as to why and how they came upon Malta to close the show. Is there something they know that they're not telling us? Something big? Or is it just random?
It's a big song.
Yeah, to me, it makes perfect sense. I mean, you know, currently leading the odds, it's going to be a really stellar performance. We know that we can at least expect the vocals to be amazing. I think this is like the choice to close out the show. When looking at all the songs from the second half, this is, I think you could have also possibly done it with Ukraine, but Malta, I think is probably the best choice overall.
Yeah, it's growing on me. It's really growing on me.
Yeah, we have to talk about kind of last spots. Over the past decade, only 2 songs that have closed a semi-final have not qualified. Like there was any doubt about Destiny's chances in qualifying for the final anyway, but there you go, a stupid fact to throw in there. We've got Vig's Flash Films. Hey, how much do we think the running orders will affect the results in the semi-finals?
It does, because it has to do with the viewer in a way. It's not so much about the singer has no control over this, because it's always comparing the song that comes before and the song that comes after. You also have to take into consideration that the audience eventually gets bored, so you need to like spice it up, and you need to know how to place the whole show in a way that's entertaining for everyone watching. So there's a lot of things that can factor into a qualification. And not only that, it will also factor how well do the contestants perform that night.
Yeah, and the goal is always to make sure that it's as fair as possible, which I'm sure there are certainly people who will disagree, especially since it hasn't always been chosen by the producers. It used to be a random choice. But like, from what I can see, how they've laid out this show this year, I would say that just about every entry has a chance at qualification. Obviously, there are certain ones that are weaker, but that has less to do with where they are in the running order and more to do with the kind of song that they're bringing in, all the other factors that go into it, because running order is just one factor.
Yeah, I mean, it always will be a factor, and it will have some impact on how the audience view a song. But the way that I think about it is, if your song is mediocre, then you will be impacted potentially by the running order. But if you've got a fantastic, amazing song, then you should be qualifying through no matter where you're singing on the night. So yes, it can have an impact, but it's not the defining moment in terms of qualification. Francesco is just saying Belgium have uploaded a live performance of their song. Giga's vocals are amazing. I need to check that out. And Fix is saying almost no one is safe in semi-1. And Ry Bailey, you're not an Australia fan this year. Your Eurovision South Africa. Hey, South Africa. I've got South African roots, so hello to you. I can see Ireland qualifying, but Australia is in trouble. Any thoughts on Australia?
They're taking a risk, as always. Yeah, well, sorry, not as always, because sometimes they've had songs that were generally considered safer, but they're taking a risk, which is a commendable thing. And I think that the song is not going to be forgotten about easily. It just comes down to whether or not the vocal performance will be executed in a way that does justice to the song. And yeah, I really think that's really the only thing that could potentially cause them to miss out on qualification.
Yeah, I have to say as well, we haven't mentioned Sweden. It's kind of one country that I was maybe a bit surprised they were so early on in the first half. I thought they would be lower, but we see in Sweden as a surefire qualifier anyway, no matter where they're placed in the semi-final running order.
Yeah, I think the fact that they go through Melfest, which is a very lengthy selection, the song is kind of bulletproof in that way. It's already made through good. It has had really good rivals, very strong rivals, and Melodifestivalen is like a small Eurovision in itself, so it has already passed that test. So I always count that Sweden is going to qualify no matter what, unless they do a terrible, terrible job. Clearly terrible.
Well,
I think Tusse has a good enough song this year to qualify no matter where he's performing. So I'm not worried about Sweden this year.
I've seen already lots of comments in the live about San Marino's opening chances. So Jess, take us through running order of the second semi.
So yep, we do have San Marino opening, followed by Estonia, the Czech Republic, Greece, Austria, Poland, Moldova, Iceland, and Serbia closing the first half. And then Georgia opens the second half, followed by Albania, Portugal, Bulgaria, Finland, Latvia, Switzerland, and Denmark closing.
Surprises. Denmark closing is a surprise for me.
I'm happy for them. It's like a nice song to end on. Nice bit of 80s vibe to end the night. But I just didn't see it happening.
No, nor me. But there has been a lot of talk about San Marino opening the show. At first, when I saw it, it was a surprise that they were opening for me. But then I thought about it for 5 seconds and realised it makes complete sense. It's an explosion of sound. It will be an explosion of colour, and potentially Flo Rida will be on the stage. So if you want a song that's going to get an audience excited, then Seni's song this year is the one. Is there anyone else that? Does anyone see that as damaging her chances in terms of qualification?
I don't think so.
Not in the slightest.
No, if something, it just gives it higher chances, because it's the same. For me, it's the same case as Lithuania performing first in the first semi-final. It's a show opener. It's setting the tone, and we've seen her road to Rotterdam. She comes with really crazy, colorful concepts. So I think it's good.
What crazy concepts?
I was like, oh my god, am I talking about the wrong country?
It's just my British sarcasm.
I like your sarcasm, but yes, it's like a stage mood setter. So we're probably going to flip, as we say in Spain. We're going to hallucinate with her performance, so that's kind of good.
I'm
And
actually really
also,
excited. Go on.
if Serhat can qualify with dodgy vocals, there's hope for everyone.
Thank you.
Do
We
you know
needed to
what?
share that.
That's not a benchmark that people should live up to, okay?
Yeah.
Reach
And you know what,
higher
Jess?
than Serhat's.
I actually wasn't going to bring that up tonight because I know how much you love Serhat. But yeah, if Serhat can qualify from last place, then
We can qualify.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Might as well send anyone.
we've got Uku and Estonia drawn in second, Czech Republic in third, Greece in fourth, which was a bit of a surprise. I thought Greece would be slightly lower down in the first half. But let's talk about Estonia. Do we think it's put there for a reason?
Yes, to say bye-bye. It's like poor Uku. His song is called The Lucky One, but I think he's like the most unlucky contestant
The
ever.
unluckiest.
The unluckiest ever. Bye. It's my like resident country, but it's a tragedy. That's all I can say.
And also,
Jess.
Go on.
Also, he's.
You need to see my visual cues, Jess.
Sorry. He's in between San Marino and the Czech Republic, 2 big songs. So it's going to take a lot for him to qualify from that, in my opinion.
He might just need to plug in the music video.
But the thing is, like, if you were to try and think of who else to put in second, like, I have a few ideas as to who would go into that second spot.
Austria, that was what I...
Yes, but again, it was like either Austria or Estonia, and maybe something like Poland, but nothing else would fit there, right? So it's somebody's got to go in that second place spot. And sure, yeah, they did the same thing to him last year, but last year's contest didn't happen, and here he is again. So, I mean, somebody's got to take that second spot, and that's just how it goes.
I'm just wondering if like they went with like Austria and Estonia and decided which out of the two would have more chances of qualifying, and they decided to help Austria because like there was no chance Estonia either way.
You know what would be even funnier? We always assume that really significant thought goes into this. I would love to just be like a producer one year and just go like this. But no, we do know a lot of thought goes into these running orders, and it's one of those situations where you're never going to please everyone. You're never going to get it 100% right, and your main motivation is delivering the best show possible. So let's talk about Greece. I feel that they're higher up than I was expecting. I think it's a good song by Stefania this year. I saw it somewhere lower down, nearer the commercial break, maybe closing the first half of the show. What do you guys think?
I agree with you.
Go ahead, please.
For me, I don't know. It seems like the spot that I don't know. It just makes sense to me. I don't know. For me, it's a song that I don't think really makes a difference where you put it. I don't think it's guaranteed to qualify, but I think that it's probably leaning more towards qualification than not. But yeah, I don't really think it would have been helped that much if it were more towards the end. Of course, last year, had the show happened, they would have opened, and it was a different song with a different vibe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have any complaints about that.
Neither have I, and I haven't heard a lot of noise about the Greek song either.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that last year I heard more rumors or like more buzz about Stefania than with Supergirl.
Definitely,
I've been hearing a lot of love about the song this year, especially on Facebook. And personally, I'm so fed up with saying, "Oh, I love it" because it's got an 80s vibe, but I do love it because it's got an 80s vibe. And for me, it is a good song, and I'm looking forward to seeing maybe how she's matured over the past year. Because obviously, there was a lot of talk about her song "Supergirl" being more a Junior Eurovision song. A year has passed. She is a young girl anyway, and obviously, she's kind of going to have a bit of support from the Netherlands as well because she is Dutch well, she's Dutch Greek. So yeah. Any other surprises from the first half, guys?
I mean, it all looked pretty much how you would expect. Like every song, like Stuart said, seems to be in a place that fits that song, and it just seems to kind of flow quite nicely, I think.
Maybe Iceland being in the middle of nowhere, like towards the end of the first.
Yeah, so Iceland is just before Serbia. I think they could have had Serbia or San Marino opening the show. They've gone with San Marino for good reason, I think. So Serbia closing the first half. I don't know where you would put Iceland.
No, I think it's a good spot. I mean, sure,
I would put it. Yeah, I'd put it in 8th.
Yeah, exactly. Like all three of the songs in that area, Moldova, Iceland, and Serbia, yeah, they're all up tempo, but they have different vibes to them. So, and like they're gonna look visually different, each one of them. So, yeah, I think that's a good spot for it.
Let's just go to the live and see what people are saying. Let's have a look. We've got your Eurovision South Africa. Can we talk about what a great year it'll be for diversity? Yes, apart from Sweden, all performers of colour are sure to qualify. Whereas if we remember 2011, neither Habba Habba nor Zenit qualified. Really good point, and not something that I'd consider. But obviously, last year in itself was a great year for diversity. I think we had the most acts that were either lead acts or featuring people of colour. And I think that's fantastic for Eurovision moving forward. Yeah, they happen to have some of the best songs are performed by people of colour this year, which is great. Maybe we will get our second, I think, because we had Estonia 2001 was a winner.
Yeah, with David Benton.
Our second winner of colour, which would be fantastic, especially with what's happened over the past year. So, really good point.
Wouldn't you count Loreen, though, as well? Because Loreen is Berber Moroccan. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's probably been more than just Dave Benton and Loreen.
They're the only winners.
I think they're the only winners.
Yeah, potentially.
I don't think there's been any others, but probably a few second places. Who knows? We can look into that. We've got George Makin. A lot of upbeat in the first half and quite a lot of ballads in the second half. Well, that is by chance. Because where the countries are allocated in first or second half is an actual draw, an old style draw.
Yeah, as he says.
There's nothing that the producers could do with that. Let's have a look. We've got Morton V. You're excited to see the running orders. We've got Adam Green. Poland is another favourite of yours. You like the 80s vibe. I'm with you on that, Adam. Let's have a look. Tyrone is saying you thought Finland would have closed semi-final too. And we've got Adam is saying you worry Slovenia and Estonia will both struggle to qualify. So let's talk about the close of the show. And I've totally forgotten who it was. It was Denmark, of course. A surprise for me. I think maybe a surprise for many of us. I thought Denmark. I think people are sleeping on Denmark. Personally, I love it.
Me too.
But I think it's going to be a Marmite song. People are going to love the authenticity of it. Some people are just going to think, "What on earth is this?" It's outdated. So I thought they would have put. I didn't think they'd put Denmark at the end, basically, because that is a prime spot to be located. I thought they would lose Denmark somewhere in the middle of the second half of the show. So I'm really happy with Denmark closing personally because it's something different. It's an upbeat and it's a happy and it's a song you watch and it makes you feel happy. It's a bit of cheese, but it's not stinky cheese. So yeah,
they know it's cheese. That's the difference. There are certain people who don't seem to know it's cheese, but they know it's cheese.
It's cheese, but it's like it's like a mild cheddar. It's not too.
There's nothing mild about it. It's in your face.
I love how we all know so much about cheese.
But like it's interesting.
These metaphors.
Like you have San Marino, this bright, colourful song opening, and then if you look at Denmark's performance from DMGP, they were kind of in pink suits, purple suits. So it's kind of seems like you've got the two most colourful brightest kind of songs, opening and closing. So in a way, it kind of does make sense.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Very, very patterned, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, it is going to be a bright, colourful performance. I have to say, those of you that don't know, the jacket that he wore in Danske Melodi Grand Prix is a genuine jacket that was worn by a celebrity who I think died in the late 80s, early 90s from AIDS, I think. So there was a meaning to the outfit. I wonder if they'll be wearing the same outfit, or if he'll be wearing that jacket in Eurovision. So I think it does have personal meaning to him. We've also got Switzerland performed. So a real contrast between, well, actually Switzerland sandwiched in between Latvia and Denmark, and then you've got Finland the other side of that as well. So you've got a real contrast of entries. Someone was saying they thought Finland would close the show.
I'm not particularly bothered by where Finland is placed, because it is right now the only real rock song in both semifinals, because Italy goes directly to the final, and that will be the other rock song of the competition. So all of the rocker votes are going to be concentrated on that song, regardless of where it's placed. So if they would have put it in place number 2, it would have been the the country that qualifies on place number 2.
Guys in the live chat, there's so many of you there. We would love to know your winner of Eurovision 2021. So keep dropping the country name in the live chat, and we will pull some of them out and let us know why you like those songs. I've seen a lot of comments about Albania. Albania drawn in 11th, just after Georgia. For me, people have been sleeping on Albania. Not a lot of people have been talking about them qualifying. I think this is a very, very, very good spot for Angela. I think following Georgia, which is, maybe a sleepy song for some. And I think we're going to have some epic staging for Albania. So I think 11th spot is really good. And I think it will increase their chances of qualifying. If you remember in 2019, some people weren't even sure whether Unida qualified, because the song was very Albanian, very ethnic. But she did, and I'm pretty sure we'll see Albania going through to the final in this in their 11th spot. But thoughts on Albania's position, guys?
I pretty much agree with everything you said. Coming after Georgia and then having, is it Portugal afterwards, I think?
Yeah.
Yes.
So two kind of slowed down, almost ballads, and then right in the middle, this kind of explosion of kind of epicness is how I would describe Albania. So if anything, there's no way it can't stand out from that.
Yeah, I agree. Albania also has a good track record on qualifying with very epic ballads. So I don't think it's going to be different this year. I think we like seeing this kind of music that Albania brings. So and the staging can be beautiful. We know Albania can do stagings really well, and the presence of the Albanian singers is always very grounded. So I think Albania is fine where it is, and it would not suffer.
Yeah,
if we
I have
take
to
some
agree with
cues,
everything that was.
sorry, Stu.
No, well, I'm just saying that I agree. That's it.
I was going to say, if we take some cues from the music video after they revamped the song as well, it was kind of very beautiful, stylish, and elegant. So I'm sure we're going to get something similar. It's Albania, so there'll be fire somewhere, I imagine, because I don't know. I always put fire with Albania's staging, so it'll be really interesting to see how they stage it. We've got some winner suggestions here. Your winners, Malta or Bulgaria. George Macon, Malta is your winner as well. Ryan Brown, Iceland song keeps growing on you with every listen, and you think it could win. Sarah O'Halloran, you think Albania is fine where it is. Rimi, Finland is your favourite this year. Jacob, you're saying Israel pretty good after the revamp. Have you guys heard the Israeli revamp yet?
Yep.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Surprise, surprise! They removed the key change.
No!
Which to me suggests that perhaps key changes are a little overrated.
No, key changes are fantastic.
There are still so many songs in this contest with a key change that have remained.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
I need facts and figures actually on how many key changes there have been in each Eurovision. I want to see if there's a trend.
We do have more this year than compared to the. I actually tried to count for myself, and this year there's more than what has been the case for the last few years. But obviously, I'm sure if you go way further back, like in the 2000s and earlier, it would probably be considerably more.
It feels like it, doesn't it? Maybe key changes are seen as maybe something a bit dated, but then look at the 80s trend that we have coming back. So maybe that's why we've got the return of the key change.
And that would be the only thing I'll be happy about, the return of the 80s.
Well, I don't know. I'd love to wear a shell suit again. But anyway,
I mean, you can do it.
Well, I don't know if you guys ever want to see me in a shell. I think I'm probably too old for a shell suit anyway. Let's talk about Bulgaria, Bulgaria's spot. Personally, I thought they'd be later on. I thought they'd be near the end. Any thoughts on Bulgaria?
It's a bit strange to have Finland directly after Bulgaria, two of the most different songs
that are so similar to each other. Right?
It's to wake you up. It's to wake you up after Bulgaria.
I don't know. I guess it's a good position for her, maybe. I mean, having such a contrasting song after her, but then also having a similar kind of slowed down ballady type song before her, maybe. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what to think of Bulgaria.
This section of the running order, it is one that, kind of concerns me, because I definitely don't think we're going to be making it. I don't think we're going to be seeing even half of those songs. Well, potentially like two, and I guess we would lean more towards Albania and Bulgaria, but obviously Georgia and Portugal are not necessarily seen as favorites, and they bring the energy down quite a bit. So I do think that this area is probably a little bit of a problem area, but I think obviously Bulgaria has a lot of well, I don't know about money, but they're putting a lot of effort into the performance, and there has been a lot of response from what they've done over the past year. So I think that they're still in a good spot regardless of the running order.
Yes, I think both Bulgaria and Finland. I think it's done for people that are going to watch the contest with a group of people, and there are going to be people that are the people that will love Bulgaria are the people that are going to hate Finland, and they're going to be thinking about how beautiful the previous song was and how much they hate the rock song. People that are sitting next to these people are going to say, finally the song ended, and now we have a song we can bang our heads to, and it's going to be so much fun. So I think it's actually clever. It gives both of the songs a chance.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to the staging of Victoria, because I'm hoping we're going to get. For me, the song is very similar to the vibe of Tears Getting Sober, so I hope we're going to get something equally as beautiful in terms of staging as to what they were going to deliver us yesterday, last year. Yesterday, last year. Your Eurovision.
It feels like it's been a long, long day.
South Africa thinks Bulgaria and Finland are a great match. Justin, you're saying Malta will be the smallest country to host the song contest if they win. Let's have a look. Sergio, Latvia between two banger songs. Well, we spoke to Samantha Tina earlier, and you can watch that on our channel, but she was very happy with her 15th spot because we asked her and she told us. So if you're a Latvia fan, make sure you remember number 15. I don't think that position is going to harm her chances of qualifying at all.
No, not at all.
It's going to be so different, her performance, and so stand out anyway. You could let her sing from backstage and she'd probably still qualify.
You could hear her.
So yeah, I don't think that will harm Latvia's chances at all. And Switzerland, obviously one of the favourites to win, has been drawn second from last, just before Denmark. So great contrast. Again, Switzerland, guys, one of those songs that you could put anywhere and it would still surely qualify through to the final.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, it is, I think, logical for it to be more towards the end, but yeah, it would definitely qualify.
We've got a question. George Makin, I don't know if we can answer this yet. Who do we want to win at this stage? Wow. That's tough.
Hmm.
I mean,
There's about
obviously, I'd
15
love to
countries.
see the UK win, but it's not going to happen this year.
Italy.
I think for me, I'd love Finland to win because it's the song I'm listening to the most, and maybe Azerbaijan, but mostly Finland.
For me, I'd love Malta to win because I think no one tries harder and wants a win more than Malta. So I think that would be amazing. And if any song's going to do it for them, it's going to be this one. There's so much hype around it. I would love Switzerland to win until I saw how much the accommodation would cost next year. But I think Sweden for me is one of the most beautiful songs. And I'd love San Marino to win just to see what the hell would happen.
Yes. I wouldn't
Me
be
too.
disappointed if Malta won. I would actually be quite happy. I could see it happening.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
and I can see us on a beach in Malta next year. That'd be fantastic.
Yes.
Stu.
No, I said, yeah, I am happy
Oh.
if Malta
To
wins,
be on
yeah.
the beach next year, yes.
Yes, exactly.
And Latvian is quite rightly saying Lithuania for cheaper tickets.
I
Like that
agree.
too.
Yes. So Latvia and Lithuania, I'm happy if they win too.
But guys, if you are joining us, we have been talking about the semi-final running order. Jess is working on her presenter skills, and she's going to take us through the semi-finals very quickly.
Semi-final 1, we have Lithuania, Slovenia, Russia, Sweden, Australia, North Macedonia, Ireland, Cyprus, Norway, Croatia, Belgium, Israel, Romania, Azerbaijan, Ukraine, and Malta.
And semi-final 2.
We have San Marino, Estonia, Czech Republic, Greece, Austria, Poland, Moldova, Iceland, Serbia, Georgia, Albania, Portugal, Bulgaria, Finland, Latvia, Switzerland, and Denmark.
That's lovely. But we're expecting it in French, Jess. But anyway, you passed.
Oh, we can go back and do that.
Oh, you got such a beautiful voice. But there you go, guys. The semi-final running orders have been drawn. Even if you're not watching us live, we'd love to know what you think about the running order of both of the shows. Let us know if there were any surprises in there. Also, let us know in the comments what your favourite Eurovision entry is. Who's going to win this year? Who's going to win the semi-finals? We would love to know. And of course, if you're new, make sure you subscribe. Also, go follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Like
And
our
my
Facebook
mom's on the background.
page.
Hello, YouTube.
Hey, Mum!
And my sister. So I think I have to go.
Love to the family and time to go. But guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you very, very soon in the next video. See you guys.
Bye.